Hello everyone, this is Manpreet. Welcome back to my channel. You're watching Career Talks with Manpreet. So today I invite Mr. Gopi Krishna from EU Business School, Munich. Remote time, let him allow to introduce himself first. Yeah, please, dear.
Thank you, Manpreet. Hello, everyone. My name is Gopi Krishna. I'm the Regional Recruitment Manager and an Enrollment Advisor for EU Business School. I do look after the advising role for students coming in from India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and all the neighboring countries. So I'm with EU from last 4 years, and I play an important role for students, advising whether it's a very good program for them, helping them through their visas and help them to onboard very well once they get their visas as well. I have a decade of experience in student advising. So I worked with US universities, UK universities in the past, So I was just like many of you 10 years ago, giving interviews to students, interview to universities. So, and now I'm on the other side of the table while, so helping the students to achieve their career in Europe. It was pleasure, Manpreet, to be part of this webinar as well. Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your valuable time. Okay. So actually, I guess you also know, and our viewers also know that Career Talks is specialized for public universities. We are guiding students for public university applications, but yes, we are also start promoting some good ranked private one for searching more opportunities for our students for like professional management courses. But like this, what do you think that why students choose public universities or why choose private? Okay, according to your advice, that what is the difference between public and private universities and why students choose private universities or private schools?
Yeah, in Germany, so when you compare with Canada, Australia, or any other country, so Germany, it's pretty much famous for its public university with a low cost and no cost in that matters. But again, so when you talk about so this public university, these are state fund universities, so these are more innovation centers. If student wants to study medical sciences, students want to study mechatronics or communications or related to computer science, these universities are very, very good, especially because they do have research facilities on campus. But equally, so, each and every country, they also have a private institutions, so as EU, we are the one of the oldest private, we are not a school, we just started 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We've been there from last 45 years. The school was established in 1973. So we have almost 30,000 alumni, so from the beginning, where we actually step in, the biggest the difference between the public universities and the private universities is a personalized approach what students usually get. Even public universities are also charging for students these days. That's something students have to keep in mind. But again, so if you really want to get into the research, then public universities is a very good one. But if you really focused on getting into a career, start a job immediately, be in the job market, there are equal opportunity for students who can get into the private schools as well. Another biggest difference is the student experience as well. So when you go to public universities, so you will be among thousands of students. So we're talking about a classroom size of 100 people in the classroom. So there will be one-way communication. It's very difficult because students usually have a challenge asking questions to the professors, when you are sitting in a big classroom. But when you go to a private schools where you have only 30 students in a classroom, it's more personalized. And the most important aspect why students choose public universities versus a private one. But again, public universities, they usually don't have proper career support. So you have to find your own part-time jobs. You have to find your own internships. You have to find your own jobs as well. But again, and on the private schools, because most of the students are international students in the private ones. So usually, so they do have their in-house career counselors. We have our own strengths. Even at EU Business School, we have our career services department, where every year we have a talent day where we invite all our corporates on campus. So I would not say public universities are bad. I would say public universities are very, very good. But at the same time, there are also prestigious private schools as well in Germany with an equal, importance, but with an affordable tuition fees as well.
But still, like if the students are asking, like my viewers, students are asking the same question, that if we choose private universities of Germany, then why not we choose Canada, UK, Australia? Because they focus on Germany because only of the public universities or low costing fees. And it's good to arrange like part-time job are there. So it's good to arrange refer their pockets. So they look like it's good if they choose the public universities. But still, you're saying that it's good like if we choose private one, we feel like a schoolish kind. Someone is there to take care of our notes, and someone is there to take guide us for the exams and all everything. But in public universities, yeah, there's a huge crowd, thousands of students, one professor. This is
Yes.
true.
Yes, I think you mentioned, in a correct way, so when you go to Canada or when you go to Australia or even US in that matters. So I personally studied in US, I went to a school where it's quite an expensive one, first of all, so we're talking about, if you want to do an MBA in Australian university, it will cost equally of 45 to 50 lakhs. So the ROI is very, very less, so when you go to US schools or even Canadian schools, it's very difficult. Why students prefer to go to Germany? Again, so the private school versus, a Canadian schools or an Australian schools is ROI, so lower cost, so higher chances of getting a job when you compare with Australia or Canada. There are more, look at the economy wise, how many jobs it is actually creating, so even Germany, I was just reading an article, a few weeks ago, Germany lacks 5 lakh jobs. So they are actually looking for international skilled workers, I would say skilled professionals, they need to fill, So again, Canada it's a different immigration market, but so when you talk about Germany, it's all about a skilled people. They really want a skilled professionals. So if you are falling into that category, it's a very easy piece of cake to find a job in Munich or even Berlin or any other city, I would say.
Okay, this is the part like if the student choose public or private, what's the difference? And if the student choose Canada, UK, Australia, or Germany, it's a like difference. Okay, if I suggest that, okay, that Berlin is also a good attractive place for students, but from the back 3 years, students are more interested to for the Munich place. So, what's the reason for
Yeah.
this attraction? Why students are not good giving the preference to Munich?
Well, that's a very good question, Manpreet. So because we've been there from last 43 years in Munich, we have seen how the city has grown. So we have seen the industries. Berlin is quite popular in most of the countries, especially in India, a country like India. So people, if you talk about Germany, they only know about Berlin. Because of it's a capital city, because of the many reasons behind, because of the cultural reasons as well. People know about Berlin. But Berlin is more like New Delhi for India. So it's a capital city and it's a state itself. Okay. Munich, if I really want to position Munich, when you compare with Indian cities, I would put Mumbai, Bangalore, and Chennai together. So why I put it all together? So Munich, of course, Berlin is a startup capital. They always say the startup capital of Germany. But again, Munich is it's called the Silicon Valley for Germany. So what I mean by Silicon Valley is, there are 3 reasons why students are preferring to go to Munich than Berlin from last 3 to 4 years. First of all, the safety. It's ranked number second globally for the safest cities in the world. Berlin is somewhere around 9 and 10. So, then we talk about the economic power. So there are a lot of jobs in Munich when you compare with Berlin, Frankfurt, or any other city. Why there is a lot of jobs? Because of the Bavaria state, because of the innovation centers and tech centers. I'll give an example of companies like Tesla, BMW, Siemens, Amazon, Microsoft. So Berlin is very good for students if they really want to study entrepreneurship. But Munich is a very good choice for students who come from technical background who really want to start their career as soon as possible. And I was just looking at the stats from during the pandemic as well. So the lowest unemployment rate in Munich is actually 3.7, which is the lowest in entire Europe as well. So students who come from tech background, so it's very easy to find a job in Munich. Another reason, students who are why they're preferring to go to Munich, it's definitely the work-life balance. So students who usually prefer to go to Munich, they really find jobs much easier. They are the highest paid salaries when you compare with Berlin or any other city. So it's basically 9.35 euros. but students usually come come with an MBA degree or a master's degree from EU. They fall under 16 to 17 euros bracket. That means students usually can earn somewhere around 3,000 euros per month, which is the highest salaries, so on an entry level jobs, so in entire Germany, I would say. Another reason is, like I said, work-life balance. It's very clean city, green city. So another the main reason is students. There's a lot of student mobility is happening to Berlin, so it's a lot of challenges finding part-time jobs in Berlin. But Munich, considering a city with a lot of tech influence, students usually able to find more internships than a part-time jobs. So that's the major difference. Students are actually preferring to go to Munich.
Cool. Great. And what's the reason why students choose EU Business School?
Well, there are a lot of reasons, I would say. I'll keep it very, very short. First of all, we are purely international school, So I was just talking to a campus manager yesterday, and, he was mentioning we had 127 nationalities on campus. So again, India is still 15% contribution to the entire student body. Majority of students actually come from Europe, Russia, and Latin American countries. We have students coming in from East Asia as well, Vietnam, Japan, and you see it's very truly international. And the second thing is we are one of the topmost ranked business school as well. We are well ranked on QS. QS is quite popular and it's one of the most prestigious rankings for any universities or even for a business school. We are ranked number one on QS for the best quality faculties, what we have. And we are ranked overall as an European school, we are ranked 43rd, globally 140. So as we are aiming for top 25 in next 2 years. That was definitely a goal. Again, this rankings is not just possible because of our accreditations, it's totally possible because of our student body. So students who graduate, who actually found jobs, they are the one who gives feedback to this QS and they're very much satisfied about it. And the most important aspect why students prefer studying at EU is the experiential learning method what we follow at EU. So there are 3 levels of learning. It really happens at the master's level, MBA, or on the bachelor's level. While one is the spotlight on the entry level, where students actually interact with someone who graduated 5 years ago, 10 years ago. They understand how they need to get prepared if they want to get into a job market. That is something which is organized by our faculties and even with the student services. Another one, which we call it a crafting your future, which is a mandatory for all the students on each and every semester. So we invite the senior directors and mid-level managers, someone, if they join any company, they will be reporting to these people, someone on the mid-level, on the senior level managers. So we invite them on campus. So students will have a roundtable conferences, so sometimes they have to go to the company and do a visit, do a proper understanding, how they need to get prepared. This is on the mid-level. On the higher level, which we call the learning from leaders, which is something that exclusively happens for EU business school students, where we invite CFOs, co-founders of big multinational companies, where they will ask questions. There will be a panel discussion between EU and World Economic Forum and this particular speaker. I'll give an example. Last month, we had a CEO of Bentley Motors, the chairman of Bentley Motors, where we spoke about the impact of the pandemic, especially on the luxury car segment. So we were a bit surprised that, so usually the luxury cars, the sales usually go down during the pandemic, but the sales actually doubled during the pandemic for this Bentley Motors, because most of these people who can afford these Bentley Motors, they're actually, they don't know whether they're going to survive after this pandemic, or they're a little bit of a scare. Now they want to spend a lot of money. So these are the learnings usually happen at EU Business School. Annually, students usually visit up to 51 companies on an average. So this is how we are different from other schools, I would say.
Okay, once the students arrives in Germany, then how the school guide the students for the all services like accommodation, PRs, and visa extension, city registration, and all like this.
Yes, that's a very good question, Manpreet. So again, we have different departments on campus. So one student actually, in fact, we actually start the process even before arriving in Munich as well. One student has paid their initial deposits and confirmed their studies at EU. So our accommodation department will reach out to the student, immediately. So we actually help the student because Munich is a little bit they need to be smart finding their accommodation. So we have an accommodation services, what something we can give them even before arriving in Munich. Once they arrive in Munich, so they need to register. So it basically register their address, but that's mandatory for all the students. So basically in Germany, there is a rule, even though if you're moving from place to place, you have to inform the visa authorities as well. So that's something, we will help the students as per the student guidelines. And plus at the same time, they have to open another account where they can transfer their locked account as well. That's something we could also help. And the second thing is once they have enrolled into the program, once they arrive on camp, we will provide them matriculation documents. Students usually come on a temporary visa. So that's valid only for 4 to 5 months. So once they get once they get in Munich, register their address, and it's in the same office. They have to go to the KBR, register their address. It's in the same building in the first floor. So they have to take another appointment with the KBR where they can extend their visas, which is called a student resident permit. It's like a card, what they get, which will be shipped to their local address. So with the help of that particular card, they can work part-time and they can work 120 days per year full-time. And once they graduate, again, they have to go to the same office, for the job seekers visa. So we also help them. Everything will be handled by our career services department as well. So they will get a complete support. But at the same, the most important thing is students usually get lost once they come to Germany. So they're always in a panic situation. So we have a peer advisors. These are students currently studying with us and interning with our student services. So there will be one student advisor for each and every student. So whenever they have any question, I still remember one student from Delhi. She actually, missed her station. That's the first day coming to the college. So she actually slept on the train. She actually missed the train, went to another station. So she called me and said, "Sir, I'm actually lost. So I don't know where to go." Then I asked her to connect with the peer advisor. Peer advisor spoke to the student, and she was back on campus. So students will have a complete support on various levels as well.
This is also the plus point if we guide students for private universities or schools. Like for the public one, we can help them to for the language schools because they need up to language B2 level or C1 level in some places. After that, they are eligible to enter in the public universities. And when they complete their C1 level, then they have to do all the process by own. Like there is no one for accommodation support, no one for airport pickup and visa extension and everything. For that, maybe students take the help of language schools or sometimes if they complete their whole language from their home country. So because they are not aware from the place, they feel some problems once they reach there was no one to guide them. So that's the plus point if they choose the private one. There is someone to take care of them because if we talk about the plus 2 students, they are under the parents' umbrella. They are not aware with the even the college or even the market anything. But for masters, yeah, they are professionals. Sometimes they at least they enjoy the college life and sometimes they have a work experience from the market also. So they
And the
are
most
yeah. So they have
Yeah,
the
sorry.
opportunity. Hmm.
I totally agree with you, Manpreet. I think even student is if they are 30 years old, they still get panicky because this is the first many of the students. This is the first time they're going abroad. It's very common for every student, but again, so when you go to public universities with the private ones, so in the private ones, most of them are international students, so we have gone through that. But when you go to public one, most of them are locals, so most of them are European Union students. So students, they actually take care of themselves. But as in India, there's a little bit of hand holding. It's required. That's something we are well prepared for it. But at the same time, each and every student, we ask them to be more independent, so travel by themselves, sometimes especially the undergraduate students, so they are very young, we ask them to go in a groups. And we also ask the peer advisor to come to the campus and come to the airport and pick them up. So we also have such kind of an support on campus. But again, why private universities do this? Because of most of them are international students. People come from all over the world. Very simple as it is.
So according to that, now students also feel comfortable and their parents also feel comfortable because there is someone to take care of themselves. So
Yes. And at the same time, whenever parents want a feedback, about how their kids are doing academically, they can reach out to us. It's very easy for us.
correct.
So when you go to public universities, so it's a very lengthy bureaucratic process, it's very difficult. So you can reach out to the regional managers and, you can check the academic progress, how they are doing it, or if they have any challenges, it's very easy to reach out to.
Okay. What's the courses offered by EU Business School and what's the exact eligibility criteria you guys check? Like
Okay.
how you give
So
the
we are a
admission?
business school. Yes. So we are a business school. So our core strength has been more into the business studies. So we offer on different levels of education. So we offer the foundation program. We also offer the bachelor's. We offer master's program. We offer MBA program. We also offer the doctorate programs as well. So again, all these portfolio is related to business studies. So on the undergraduate level, there are almost 19 specializations actually we offered on the undergraduate level. Students who come from their 12th standard, they don't need to go through the foundation year. So they can get a direct entry into our bachelor's program. It's a 3 years bachelor's. Students can study BBA, students can study public relations, finance, entrepreneurship. Students can study sports management, which is something, a very few schools offer. We are one of the top most ranked in the sports management. We also offer cloud computing, so which is more on the technical one. So students, who cannot get into the public universities, they can still keep this as an option. For more on the undergrad, we also offer the project management, supply chain and logistics on the undergraduate level. Once they come with once they're done, we also have the master's level. We have 9 specializations under masters. We have marketing, finance, luxury and tourism, the luxury and fashion business. We have business analytics and data science, digital marketing, digital business. So students can actually streamline into various specializations as well. We also have an MBA program for students who actually have more work experience that really want to become, with the more mid-level managers. So where we have almost 14 specializations under MBA. Students can study international business, finance, global banking and finance, and we have leisure and tourism management, we have design management, we have a cloud computing. So especially in MBA in cloud computing, in MBA in information systems and project management. So all these programs, everything will be taught in English. So students no need to worry if they actually, don't know anything in German language. So they can still study in English language as well. Coming to your admissions requirements. So sorry, you have a question?
Yeah. For regarding this admission, for the bachelor's admission, you need a 13-year education or after 12, they can direct eligible to apply in bachelor's course?
Yes, they can come with 12 years of education. That would be enough for us. 13 years of education, it's not mandatory to get into the bachelor's program. So students who are done with the 10th standard plus 2. So if they come from CBSE background or state boards or even NIOS, National Open School as well, we also consider.
Okay. And if any student like done diploma after 10th, so he's also eligible.
Yes, they are eligible as well, but it should be a 3 years diploma.
3 years diploma.
If it's 10 plus 3, so 3 years diploma, they would be eligible for it.
Correct. Okay. And for MBA courses, there is a need of any work experience or freshers are also eligible?
Until last year, Manpreet, we used to ask for work experience. We have, as you know, pandemic has actually changed most of the universities. Even Harvard Business School actually waived off the SAT requirements for the undergraduate level. So we have also took one step back and understand how we can evaluate these students based on their work experience, GMAT scores, and everything. So we also keep out standards because we are one of the top most ranked business school. So we have started accepting the students. If they don't have work experience as well, they can still apply for an MBA program. So it is absolutely possible from October 2022 onwards. So without work experience, they can still apply for masters and even for an MBA program. But they have to prove well in the interview. They have to do well in the interview and all the admissions process.
Okay, so how many intakes and how many campus does EU school have?
So EU, we are a business school. We have multiple campuses. I would say, we are not only in Germany. We also have a campus in Barcelona, Spain. So which is a quite popular destination for its football. And we also have two campuses in Switzerland. One is in Geneva, another one is in Montreux. So again, most of the students prefer to go to Munich because of the job opportunities. The admissions required. We offer the same program, same admissions requirements. Everything remains same. And when it comes to sorry, what was your first question again? So I lost you.
Yeah, this is like how many like total intakes?
Intake, sorry, yes. So on the postgraduate level, so there are three intakes. We offer the October intake, January, and March. And on the undergraduate level, there are four intakes. We have October, Feb, June, and August.
Okay.
So why there are three intakes on the master's level? Because there are three terms. So students can join in any of the terms as well. So the next starting date would be 3rd of October.
Right. So you're like EU school having masters and MBA courses of 1 year, right? So why students
Yes.
prefer this 1 year course instead of like preferring for, because market demands 2 years course. Students mostly want that we want to join 2 years course. After that, 18 months of post-study work permit. According to they will 4 years approx time to spend in Germany. So when we offer them 1 year course, so students are like, how we convince them? Okay, 1 year course is good for you.
Well, so I think this is one of the question, I usually get to hear from students who want to go for an MBA, especially someone who are 5 years, 10 years of experience. They always have this 2 years MBA and 1 year MBA. I think this is a very good question. I love this question as well because, I really challenge the students, so why they really want to do an MBA. The best example is me. I have a 7 years of work experience before I do my MBA as well. Why did I choose a 1 year MBA over 2 years of MBA? There are many reasons behind it, but this is not me. It's my opinion. This is the survey done by Harvard. So this is what they say. So one of the topmost reason why, again, let's talk about advantages and disadvantages here. So and 1 year masters because you need to have a blocked account for cost of living as well. So if you really want to study a 1 year masters, you have 1 year blocked account and you'll be in the job market. But if you are a 2 years MBA, you need to have 2 year blocked account. So 1 year, again, you are spending more money in 2 years MBA than 1 year MBA. Whether you do 1 year MBA or 2 years MBA, your job seeker visa remains same. So that means, so you will be most likely to be in the job market immediately if you go for a 1 year MBA program versus a 2 years MBA program. This is from the financial perspective. Okay. The second thing is from the academic perspective, why students prefer to go for 2 years MBA versus 1 year MBA. So 1 year MBA is more for working professionals, someone who really want to kickstart their career, who really want to work on a pressure. So because it's not like 2 days a week, you will be having classes in 1 year MBA. It's actually 5 days a week. They will be having, it's a full-time program. So students usually work on many assignments, presentations, company visits. Students usually get prepared when they go for a 1 year MBA. But in a 2 years MBA, students are a little bit more relaxed. Students, again, this is 2 years MBA or master's is more suitable for students who really want to focus more on the academic work, especially in the technology like computer science or data science or related to mechatronics or more engineering subjects. They really need to have that particular research experience. So 2 years MBA or master's program would help them to go on extra mile to have more academic research so that they actually benefit out of it. And another thing is, you spoke about the long-term stay back as well. So when you look at the 2 years MBA, again, I always say, do you really want to spend money from your pocket and be live in the country, or else you be in the job market and they pay you?
Correct.
Okay, so I would definitely go on the other way. So and again, there are a lot of limitations as well if you're going on a 2 years MBA. So the limitations is definitely there's a limitation on the number of hours you can work on campus or off campus. So you can only work 120 days in a year if you're on a student visa. So, but if you are in a job seekers visa, so there is no limit. You can be on the job market much easier. So I would highly recommend students who are into research, who are more into academic, go for 2 years. Students who are more career focused, who want to be in the job market, then 1 year masters. It's a cost saving. Well, in the job market, and again, the number of credits remains same. Whether you do 2 years MBA or 1 year MBA, the number of credits remains same.
Okay, if the student choose like 1 year course, then what are the PR options? After how many time they are eligible to apply for PR?
Well, so it usually takes 4 years, so and overall altogether, but at the same time, so there is a process for it. Okay, so there is a step-by-step process. So first, students have to get a job seekers visa once they get their graduation from. Let's take an example of EU Business School. We have students who graduated back in June last year. So and students are actually in the job seekers visa. Many of them found their jobs. So once they get their job seekers visa will not be given at a time. They will be given in intervals. So first 6 months. If they're not able to find jobs, they can extend their visas for another 6 months, another 6 months. So once they get their job seekers, if they're able to find jobs within that time frame, there are two categories. One is EU Blue Card category. Another one is the work permit category. So even the EU Blue Card category, they have reduced their minimum salary requirement very recently. So earlier it was 56,000 euros. Now I think it's somewhere around 48,000 euros salary bracket. If you fall under that, you can apply for EU Blue Card. With the help of EU Blue Card, you also need to have a German language proficiency. If you have a B1 level German language proficiency, within 2 years, you can start preparing your file for your PR. So that is absolutely possible. There is another rule. If you don't have a German language, students usually on the senior level, they usually get paid well. They are actually not on the EU Blue Card level. They are also much higher level, somewhere around 70,000, 80,000 euros bracket. They usually on a work permit. So work permit, there is no conditions on the work permit. It's very simple. They need to have an offer letter from any company above 56,000 euros package annually. So then they will have the work permit route. Both this EU Blue Card route and work permit route they can apply for PR if they have a B1 level German language proficiency. So again, there is a little bit of a procedure students have to follow. But if they stay in the country consistently for for 3 to 4 years, pay taxes on time, so and contribute to the without using any public funds, that's also very, very important. Okay, so they can apply for permanent residency. But again, Germany is more welcoming when you compare with other countries like Spain or Switzerland or any country, even UK that matters. Germany is more welcoming. But again, so there is a process for it. And very easy to get a PR as well. Again, language plays a very important role. We also offer free German language courses on campus. So students can learn A1, A2 on campus. B1, by the time they live in the country for 3 to 4 years, they can obviously be in the B1, B2 level.
This is very informative. Thank you. So, okay, what's the little bit information regarding scholarships? So,
yes, we like I said again, so very limited scholarships what we have at EU. So we always compete with schools like Imperial College London, IE Business School, and so with Manhattan Business School. So there are a certain number of scholarships which we offer at EU. There are 3 levels of scholarships. One is on the meritorious scholarship, which we call it a merit-based scholarship. We are looking for someone who are academic excellent, someone who scored more than 3.7 GPA out of 4, good English, and someone who could prove very well academically. So we can offer them up to 25% scholarship on the entire tuition fees. Okay, this is one scholarship, and again, only 7 students from India do get this scholarship. We have a quota for each and every student. Another scholarship which we offer is an early bird scholarships. So early bird scholarships is actually, this is something we offer for all the students for the October session, which is coming to an end by end of March. So students will get a 7% scholarship if they are paying their initial deposits before the given deadline. Okay, so there is no specific condition. The condition is very simple. They have to pay the deposits with a given deadline. Okay, and the third scholarship is the ambassador program. So for each and every advisor, we have 3 slots available. So 3 students we can nominate from the incoming students, one for bachelor's, one for masters, and one for an MBA program. So we have to identify someone who is very good with their presentation skills, someone who are very good with the social skills, and these are the students who would be very active on campus. That means, like I said, we have almost 51 company visits and a lot of events we conduct on campus. So we want someone to represent their country. We want someone to represent that student body, so who would be very actively work with the career services and international office. So again, for each and every program we have one ambassador. So students will get 2,000 euros on the tuition fees reduction. It's not only just the value on the money, but also a lot more on the connections. They are the first one to get picked whenever there is an internship opportunities, whenever there is a campus place, because they're quite popular on campus. So very limited, Manpreet, but again, so the tuition fees is quite an affordable. We're talking about a master's program of 11 lakhs tuition fees and an MBA of 17 lakhs. Students can really afford us. So, but again, very limited. The early they start their application process, there are high chances that they might be eligible for scholarships.
Okay. Okay. Want to know a little bit regarding the fee structure for all courses?
Yeah, so on the bachelor's level per year, I'll give you in Indian rupees and in euros as well. It's 12,900 euros approximately. You can say 10 lakhs tuition fee per year for the bachelor's. Okay, and for the masters is 14,250 euros, approximately 11.5 lakhs to 12 lakhs. Okay, as per the exchange rate. And when we talk about the MBA, it's 20,950 euros. So we're talking about 17 lakhs. Why it's 11 lakhs and why it's 17 lakhs? Because of number of credits. So in masters, students do get 60 credits. In MBA, they get 90 credits. So there is more academic work and they have to submit their thesis at the end of MBA. So, but on the masters, they do limited subjects, but they do a project at the end. So that's a major difference.
Okay, one thing I know that in EU Business School, the like classes time at evening session at a 5 p.m. So in the morning, students are easily they can get a like part-time job options. And so is it easy to do a job in Germany, like in Munich, to do a part-time job in English language and to refill their pocket easily to survive there and again collect the money for the next semester, next term?
Okay, so I think students, I will always recommend students, to come with a financial budget for sure, So, but at the same time, students also save a lot of money, on the blocked account by doing part-time jobs, internships as well, So, but there are a lot of English jobs. But again, this is the advantages of studying in Munich when you compare with Berlin, So Berlin, students have to find, more part-time jobs. But again, there are more internship opportunities available with the multinational companies in Munich. So I'll give an example, Allianz, which is the financial services company, which they have at headquarters in Munich, they're paying 1,600 euros per month as an internships for students. Amazon is actually paying 1,400 euros per month just on the internships. We have a student who got into BMW as in one of the internships. So they are paying 1,900 euros, for this particular student. So again, there are a lot of part-time jobs. I would differentiate part-time jobs versus the internships. In Germany, they call it a mini jobs. So mini jobs is basically on a seasonal basis. So students, even companies, they actually hired, for a particular time period, maybe for 2 months or 3 months. Students can actually get into a very good companies as well. But again, part-time jobs, again, they can work in a small stores, they can earn. But again, we're talking about 9.35 euros minimum wage. That is almost a 700 to 800 euros. Just on the minimum wage itself, So that's something they can definitely. But of course, we also have a career services on campus. So I always highly recommend the students to stay in touch with our career services. We have a job portal on campus. So students can apply jobs through our job portal. So career services, we are very, very strong. So we are there from last 45 years. We have a lot of alumni, they come on campus, so we can definitely help the students very much tailored way, rather than just giving them, these are the part-time jobs. We can sit down with them and understand what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, which areas they really want to go. We can help them.
So that means in Munich, students easily get the part-time jobs also to refill their pockets. Even they have a blog account, but still they don't want to disturb their parents again. They want.
Yes, so I'll give an example of one of the student, who has went to January session. So this student, he was on a tight budget. He was on a bank loan. So he went to Munich and he started his program. So he made few friends, and he was sharing a room with the TUM Munich students. And he's paying only 350 euros just on the living expenses, and he already got it. By the time he arrived, within 1 month, he took help from the career services, and he got a job, and he's getting paid like somewhere around 800 to 900 euros with the startup company. So he's very happy about the support, and I think he's pretty much happy that he will be paying off his bank loan very, very much easy, rather than depending on his family.
Yeah,
But again, I always recommend to come with a budget rather than
correct.
struggling with their financing.
See, sometimes students plan for a public universities because of a budget, right? Because there's a bridge to enter in public universities. They need a German language, they need a 13-year education, and for masters also they need a C1 level or B2 level, and some like criteria they have to follow. But in private universities, there is also a criteria, but it's easy like to give a English exams or like interview sessions, and according to the academics, they can easily get the entrance in these universities. And it's good to get a part-time jobs like in a Berlin, in Munich. With the help of that part-time jobs, they can easily do sponsor their. They can all easily do the. They can easily refill their pockets and can focus on their studies also.
So I'll tell you, students who will be very successful, students who are very much open-minded. Okay, someone who is willing to take their international step as like a very important step, because 1 year programs, students usually don't have too much of time, to settle down. So by the time they arrive, I've seen most of the students, they are in a panic. Okay, I want my part-time job, by the time they arrive. So what we really suggest is settle down in the first semester, sit down, understand how the recruiting really happens, and take some support. By the time they are second semester, they can start applying for the internships. And by the time they graduate, if they have at least 2 or 3 internships, it's very easy piece of cake to find a job in Munich, especially.
Fine. So could you please share a few success stories of like who were able to find a job in Munich, like students?
Well, I can give thousands, I would say, because we are not in young school. We've been there for the last 45 years. I can give you of my students, from last year. So this student is from Pune. So he actually studied at, I think, Mumbai. I think, yeah, he did become honors from Mumbai University. So this student is a very, very shy student, so not much outgoing student, so coming from a middle class background, and so he was on a bank loan. So he was on campus. He chose an MBA International Business program, and he started learning German language on campus. He took all this support, and he has almost 3 to 4 years of work experience. He worked with Genpact before coming to Germany. By the time he arrived in Munich, he graduated from the college. He took support from the career services department, and he actually met one of the gentlemen from Boston Consulting Group, BCG, which is into consulting, one of the pioneer in the management consulting company. So his name is Zia Siddiqui. So and he worked as an IT consultant initially for 2 years, and now he's a product consultant. He is a product consultant, and he's becoming a manager. And this is one of the success story. So what I could say from the MBA level. Another one is student from another student is Arpit Jain. So he's from Kolkata. So this student did a master's in management program with us. He don't want to study German language. He's actually very adamant. I don't want to learn German language. He's working with Mercedes-Benz now. So he actually working in the business solutions department as well. So, and I have another student from the bachelor's level. Her name is Vidushi Bhattacharya. She's from Delhi. So she is currently studying second year in our bachelor's program. So she is working as the social media analyst at I forgot the name of the Flexibus. Flexibus is a bus company in Munich. So where they actually have the renewable energy, which is more into electric buses. So, and I have another student. He's from Chennai. So he's coming from BTech background. So students, this guy, he's an aeronautical engineer. So he actually has a 9 years of work experience before coming to an MBA program. So he's working with Siemens as a project manager. So I can give a lot of examples, but again, how these students were able to find jobs because they are actually willing to take challenges. They're willing to learn new languages. They're willing to take help and extra help. But there's a lot of self-learning and self. It's not about what you know. You studied abroad, Manpreet. So it's not about what you know. It's about who you know as well. So at EU, we can help the students. So to plug into these career services, plug into these corporate events. Yesterday, we had a company visit with Louis Vuitton. So students who really want to study the luxury and fashion. So we had Louis Vuitton, and we had a company visit of Airbus, so aircraft manufacturing company. So students usually right after this company, the students usually get connect with the people, and they do get internship opportunities as well. So they can check on our website. We identify students. We put their success stories. If I could say one success story on the senior management, someone who are doing very well on the topmost level, Dr. Sita Raman, who is an alumni of EU Business School, who is from Chennai, who did the MBA program with us. He's a CEO of Doha Bank. He's currently living in Qatar. So yeah, he's one of the most influential people in the Middle East. So this is one example I could give, and we have a lot more as well.
Business school have a webinar every month, right?
Yes, yes. So basically, we call it a Get Hired in Germany, a corporate series, which we do it. So basically, what we do it, of course, we have a lot of events on campus and a lot of events or virtually as well. So every year, what we do, we invite few corporate partners. So it's basically, I'll give an example, which is happening on 1st of March. So students who want to study finance. So we are inviting two corporates. We have a CFO of a company which is more into wealth management, and we also have an MBA. We have a vice president of a credit risk company in Munich. So there would be a panel discussion between a career services department and these corporates. So generally there is a conversation regarding what are the things what they look at when they hire a student from EU Business School, how the students have to get prepared before getting into the financial analyst role, or even the credit risk analyst, anyone, and what are the skill sets they look at from a young professionals, and where they can find jobs, how important it is, how how the technologies are changing in their company, how students have to get ready for those technologies. So every month we have, we call it Get Hired in Germany series. So this month, in May 1st, the March 1st, we'll be having two companies. So most of your students will be more welcome to join. And the second thing is, in the past, we did with Michael Page, which is the pioneer in the human resources. We did with Amazon, we did with Bosch, so we did with few the communications and public relations companies. So every month we will be having these kind of an event. These are corporate events. So students always want to hear about what will happen after their graduation. So they are most welcome to be a part of this exclusive series on campus or even the virtually as well. So they'll get an understanding how they need to get prepared while they're on campus. So how they need to get prepared if they really want to start their career. So these events would be specific to their specializations. So this time it would be in finance. Last month it was with marketing. before month, it was with the public, with the communications and public relations. In the past, we did with the data science. We also have one more session coming up in end of March, where we will be doing on the data science. So how in Formula One racing, the data science has been using. So we are inviting someone, a faculty who work with Formula One racing. So students would have a real-time analysis how data science is implemented in the Formula One racing as well. So at you, it's more practical. So your students are most welcome to be part of it, so they can reach out to you for the registrations and everything. So yeah, so this is one thing, I always recommend the students, so it's not just about admissions, it's about what happens after graduation as well.
Correct. It makes the picture clear that what's the ROI. If they're planning this, then what exact next? Correct.
Yes.
You already shared a link with us, so I can coordinate with my students and I can share the link. If they're interested, then they can attend.
Yeah, if in case they missed this particular webinar as well, we have recordings on our website as well. They can go back to the recordings. We also have lots of company visit videos and everything on our website. They can just register and get the recordings as well. It's easily available on our website.
Quite good. So it's a good session. It cleared my all doubts, number of queries that why student choose Munich, why student choose private one, why student choose these management courses. The students have confused for this 1 year MBA, 2 year MBA, and for especially for the MIM and MBA. What's the job market is after master in management course and after MBA course. So students are mostly confused to choose that why they choose MIM, why they choose MBA. So I guess you clear all doubts very well. And if still we have more queries, then we can invite you again on our channel. So,
absolutely, Manpreet. We are very excited, so to interview a few of your students, so I really like them. I really like their questions, especially students, we really enjoy doing the admissions interview. We ask the student, do you have any questions? Usually students be quiet, but I think I interviewed a few of your students in the past and so they have very good questions on course content, especially on the success stories, what happens after the job. So you mentioned about the job market after masters in management. So one of your students actually asked me, okay, Gopi, what kind of a jobs I expect after masters in management? So this is something we're really happy to show. Okay, these are the jobs, these are the departments where you can work. So that's something we are very excited. We would also interested to be part of any, if you have any plans to have a second session, let us know. We will be part of it as well.
Correct. Let me collect more queries for you. Okay.
Thank you. You're most welcome. I love questions. So yeah, as always, so we are very excited. And the only one piece of advice I want to give it to students is, so don't come at the last moment, especially to German schools. So the early you start the application process, so it's better because the average visa processing time in India is more than 1 month to 2 months. So we have to give enough time for the visas. So otherwise, if you come in the last moment, so you might need to postpone your studies for next year, So to avoid that, so the early you start, get the scholarship opportunities, and then, so work on the visas so that, so you will be exactly on time.
Thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Manpreet. Thank you, and have a great evening.
Thank you.